Hey everybody, what is going on? CerealOverdrive here, and today I'm playing Entropia Universe. What I'm going to be doing today is sort of a continuation of what I was doing yesterday. I'm going to be doing another Arkadia Underground mining run. This time I'm going to be dropping it with a few more probes. I'm going to be dropping 50 PEDs worth of probes and seeing if I can't loot anything good. So I've reached the end of this area. I've been dropping a few probes just during this run. I started the video, I started recording, and I really didn't like where I was going with it, so I figured I'd give it another shot. Anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is Crystal Palace, the deeds, and what I think of the deed sale, because a lot of people have been mentioning that to me. They've been talking to me about it. They've been saying, hey, Cereal, what do you think about this? You were wrong originally. You said it wouldn't go good, and look at how well it went. Like, people want me to come on here and they want me to say I'm wrong. They want me to come back and say that I didn't know what I was talking about and I got things wrong. And you know what? They're right. I thought that the Crystal Palace deed sale was going to go badly because I was basing it off of how the Arkadia Moon sale went and everything like that. I didn't think it would be successful, and I was wrong about that. The deeds have now sold out. I believe they sold out in under a week, which is just crazy given everything, right? I mean, that's an insane amount of time to sell out of deeds. They had, I believe it was like 250 or 500,000 deeds selling for 10 PEDs each, and they completely sold out, making Crystal Palace another huge sale for Entropia Universe. It's going to be another one for the record books, that's for sure. And they introduced a very cool new system that Mindark is sort of working on right now. They're working on a system, I guess, where what you can do is you can split everything into shares. So it seems like anything that works with a tax, right? So if there's a shopping tax, if there's a mining tax, if there's a hunting tax, you can now split that up into a deeded property where there's X number of deeds. You can transmit those deeds to, you can put those deeds into the Calypso like deed center or whatever it's called, and then you can sell it to the players. How well it does depends obviously on how well you market it and everything like that. For their first sale for Crystal Palace, it was extremely well marketed, and Crystal Palace is an entity that players have been using for a long time. Crystal Palace was one of the first things to show up in space. It was actually the first sort of asteroid or thing outside of Calypso that you could visit. So Crystal Palace is sort of a storied place. There's very unique mobs there. There's very unique loot there. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of these players really do believe in this area. And that's what I was reading. I did some looking because I was like, all right, so why is Crystal Palace doing so good? Why is this deed sale doing so good when Arkadia Moon sales sort of didn't do as good as expected? And looking into it, it looks like Crystal Palace is one of these places that a lot of players believe in. They still go there to hunt these unique mobs, Aruli and the other one that I can't pronounce. So they still go there to hunt these unique mobs, and because of that, they know that the area definitely has potential. They saw that potential, and a lot of the players wanted to get in on that, so that's why they were interested in buying the deeds. It definitely makes sense. It's something I really should have considered, probably. It's something that I should have known better than to doubt. Because I have been around long enough to know what Crystal Palace is all about and know that there's a lot of diehard believers in Crystal Palace. It's just I didn't think the deed sale would do that good because of Arkadia Moon and sort of everything surrounding that. But the deeds have sold out in under a week, which is crazy. They sold for PEDs instead of deposits, which I think is the right way to go. And I really do appreciate that Mindark went back to that route, that sort of old school idea that they had. I think one of the reasons that Arkadia Moon Deeds did so bad is because Mindark wanted cash, whereas now what people are doing is they've got PEDs in-game, and they're just using those to buy Crystal Palace deeds. I think if Mindark switched the Arkadia Moon Deeds to be sold on auction or something like that, things would really take off. Maybe they're even going to introduce them via this new system, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, like the deeds did amazingly well. They sold out amazingly well. Obviously, Crystal Palace is something that exists already, so there's no real change in that. Like, the people who are going to Crystal Palace are still going to go to Crystal Palace. One of the things I'm really looking forward to seeing is just how it works out with mob spawns and everything like that, because prior to this system, it's typically been that either a planet or there's someone managing resources. There's someone managing the land areas. There's someone keeping track of just what mobs are in the area, what those mobs need to eat, because you've got to feed stuff into these. So for those guys who don't know, if you own a land area, the way it works is that you need to actually keep putting items into that land marker. I forget if it's fruit or dung or something like that, fertilizer maybe. You've got to put stuff into that land area to keep the mob spawns up, to keep the mobs coming, and to just make sure that the area is sort of well equipped. Also, you can manage things like what mobs are there to hunt and everything like that. So for those of you who don't know, what happens is, and this system actually hasn't been used a ton recently because there haven't been many new land areas, but as the owner of a land area, you can buy DNA on the auction or from other players, or you can buy DNA parts, combine those DNA parts, and create the DNA for a mob. Now, this could be something very common like Aatrox. That's why you see them all over the land areas, because it's very easy to get their DNA. Or it could be something a little bit more unique, something that maybe doesn't even exist anywhere else. If you're the first person to get that mob, you can create a high spawn of it. And if it's a really in-demand mob, you're going to see a huge profit, a huge number of players coming just to your land area because you've got that spawn. So it's extremely lucrative, right? And actually, I'm in a bit of a hole here. I'm going to teleport back and try a different area. So the mining isn't going too good, but we're getting a good talk in. So it's extremely lucrative to be selling this DNA to land area owners, and then those land area owners use that DNA to create that mob and put it onto their land area. Now, with this introduction of shares and everything like that, one of the interesting things is going to be how MindArk decides to manage various land areas. Now, it could be that the highest shareholder who wants to do it gets to manage the land area, or it could be that the person who originally listed it manages the land area. Maybe MindArk is going to, maybe they have already depreciated the fact that you need to fertilize and use DNA, and land areas are just sort of stuck with whatever mobs they have. But that sounds a little weird because that's really devaluing an asset that players have put a lot of money into. Like, let's face it, people who own a land area, they deposited a lot of money to buy that land area. Some of these land areas go for 30, 40, 50,000 USD. That's a lot of money, and that would be a lot of money for MindArk to just devalue on players, especially because these are some of the bigger players in the game. So I don't think that that's what they're doing, but I think that they're going to have to introduce a different management system, because otherwise I don't see how land areas could work, right? For mining, it would be fine because you don't really need to maintain anything for mining. But for land areas that rely on hunters to generate income, I just don't see how you can do it without a manager, or how MindArk could do it and sort of maintain profitability for them. One of the ways that they make money is by getting that fertilizer and sort of introducing it either to the loot pool or saving the money themselves. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they tackle this problem. With Crystal Palace, it's sort of a nice introduction to the system because they don't really have to tackle the problem with Crystal Palace. You see, Crystal Palace, at least I believe the way it works, is that you don't really need to fertilize anything. You don't need to fertilize the mobs. So it's a little bit easier to sort of work with, right? But when people can start selling shares of their land areas and stuff like that, I don't know how it's going to be managed. Maybe the profits are going to be taken from the players, but I'm not sure. The profits are going to be taken from the shareholders, or the shareholders can vote. But yeah, it's really going to be interesting to see just how it's handled. But yeah, I'm not sure. So yeah, right now we're not doing too good on this mining run, but it's a good opportunity for me to talk about Crystal Palace. And one of the reasons I wanted to do it while mining is because that gives me, there we go. We got some lists. We got an ample IX of lists. Not bad at all. So that's a nice little first hit. Maybe not even, well, yeah, we're like halfway through this mining run, so it's not too bad. It's not as bad. Like, some people are probably thinking like this is horrible for me, but it's not that bad actually. For a first hit, like Apple IX, like that's going to be a good amount of list, and this could even get us pretty close to break even, especially with markup. Let's just see how it goes. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how the share system proceeds. I think this is sort of the next natural step for MindArk. If they want to keep getting player investments and stuff like that, this is a great way to open those investment opportunities to players who might not have the money. Also, this has been done in the past. A lot of people don't know this, but there are a lot of communities that pooled money to buy land areas, and in one case, I think even a planet. The problem with pooling your money is that you're subject to just really trusting whoever's going to be holding that money and holding that land area. If they aren't trustworthy, or if for some reason things go badly for them, if they get hit by a bus, get into a coma, or whatever, right? You sort of lose your money unless Mindark goes in and manually does something for you. Having this share system is going to help to prevent that, because I'm assuming that shareholders could get together and vote out a player if they're managing the land incorrectly. Maybe there's even going to be some sort of paid system, right, where you're like CerealOverdrive. I could come in and manage a land area for players. They're going to pay me a percent of the taxes. They all vote on that, and then just based on how well I do, they can either vote to keep me or let me go. Just sort of like real life, right? You've got CEOs in charge of stocks, and if the shareholders don't like the CEO, they can vote him out. It's as simple as that. Because I do believe that's the plan. I believe Mindark's trying to mimic something like the stock market. Sorry about that. Like the stock market, and it's really cool to see. I really love to see it, because this is going to be the next step in creating a more mature, a more investable, a more usable Entropia Universe. And it's definitely a step in the right direction. The question is going to be just how well the next land area or the next thing that goes on sale does. Crystal Palace did really well. It was really well advertised. It was very well received. And I think that a lot of it's because it was sort of the early listers. One of those things that a lot of players wanted to jump into, and the share price was so low. I think if people can keep capitalizing off of this, we're going to see some really, really cool opportunities coming here in the future. And I can't wait, honestly. I can't wait. I know I was a doubter, I was a hater, but I was wrong. And that's perfectly acceptable. We all get stuff wrong some of the time, and, you know, I'm no different. I've got to admit it. So there you guys have it. I know there's even been some people going back to my old videos and commenting like what I think about this and how I feel. It's like, no, I feel great. Like I want, and a lot of people confuse this, right? Like I make these videos saying like why you shouldn't play Entropia Universe, or like here's what's wrong, here's what I don't like. It's not that I don't want the game to succeed. It's that when I see something that I don't like, when I see something that I think could be improved, I think one of my jobs one of my responsibilities, I guess, as someone who has a bit more of like input into the community would be to mention those points. And when I see something done right, like this share system or something like that, it's also one of my duties to say that. So that's why I'm coming out here and making this video on it, because it's great what they've done. If you are a Moon Deed holder, I guess one of the differences, this is a difference between speculative investment and sort of a concrete investment. Moon Deeds are still speculative. That means that we don't know where they're going to go. We don't know how well they're going to do. And we don't really know what the Moon's final sort of form is. For Crystal Palace, we definitely do. We definitely know where the profits are. We know where sort of how much money's coming in, and people can run that sort of loss, what do they call it? That formula, right? That like profit loss formula and all that. They can run it a lot faster, a lot simpler than they could run, well, you know, Arkadia Moon. Because with Arkadia Moon, everything's sort of up in the air. You don't know. You don't know, right? And that's one of the things I think that's the problem. It's speculative. A lot of players don't want speculative. They want something that they know is going to pay out X amount per day or per week or whatever. And Calypso Deeds, wow, I'm mincing my words here. Crystal Palace Deeds are able to do that. The same with Calypso Land Deeds and Arkadia Underground Deeds. And maybe that's where Arkadia Moon Deeds missed the boat. Or maybe that's where the real potential lies, in the fact that Arkadia Moon's going to be developing things. So in the future, those profits could be way higher than we see right now, whereas with Calypso Palace or Crystal Palace, it's going to be very rare. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where things sort of land and how everything works out. But, you know, for now, it looks like I was wrong, and it looks like that was a good thing. Because this is honestly, I think this is one of the fastest sales ever. I don't think Calypso Land Deeds sold out this fast. I don't think Arkadia Underground Deeds sold out this fast. I know for a fact Combat and Arkadia Moon Deeds didn't go this fast, but it's extremely impressive to see, and I'm glad that I got to see it. Hopefully this is going to issue sort of a whole new chapter for Entropia Universe and Mindark. It's going to issue a whole new way for them to make money and to sort of bring in profits. And yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to see where time and Mind Arc takes us, but hopefully it's in a good direction. So let's talk about this mining run. This has been pretty bad. If you take a look here, I've mined 15 PEDs worth of resources, which on a 50 PED run is not too great. Let's be honest, it's not too great. I'm thinking I might just end it here because honestly, we've got 4 more probes to go, and the loot is looking pretty dull. If I get attacked, I'm gonna end it. That's how we're gonna work this. Let's keep going here. Let's drop again. Got 3 more drops here. 3 more drops. 3 chances for that global. 3 chances for that Hoff. 3 chances for that awesome sound. But most likely we're not going to get it. I know I should be amping up here. That's what everybody says. But honestly, look at these returns. Do you really think I'm going to amp up, folks? Do you really think that I should be amping up right now? I would have lost so much more money if I'd amped up. So I'm very glad I didn't. We've got 1 more drop after this. Let's see where we end up. Alright. Nothing. Alright, we got 1 more drop. We've got 1 more chance at this. 1 more chance at even breaking even. Here we go. We need a global at this point to make money. We need close to a global at this point to break even. Is it going to happen? No, it's not. Alright. So there you have it, folks. Not the best run. We spent 50 PEDs, and we got 15.74 PEDs back. This leads me to believe that Arkadia Underground is not for me. So you're probably going to see me doing some hunting down here, but you guys are probably not going to see any more mining runs because in the past, 2 days, I've wasted $7.50 or 75 PEDs just sort of messing around down here and hoping for the best, but it didn't happen, and that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you so much, as always, folks, for tuning in, for watching this video. If you guys could give me a like, and if you're not subscribed, a subscription or subscribe always helps. It's free for me, free for you, and it helps everybody out. Anyways, thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.